From the crossroads of entertainment and culture to the stories that move the streets and shake the box office. This is Blues Nightly News, the world of movies, music, comics, and culture, the way it really is.
Yeah. Oh, I ain't got my mic. What's up, y'all? What is good? What is good? What is up? What's up? What is upper, man? Where did that go? There we go. This whole thing this is wild, and I don't know what's going on with Stream, y'all. Well, how y'all doing, man? Stream don't even sound the same. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What up? What up? What up? House gang in the building. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Welcome to Blues News, man. You know I am Bluminati. I am your host, and I'm currently running on 3 espressos and Sprite. You know what I mean? Tired out here, man. Tired out here. That's all right, though. We got a good little show for y'all today, man. Nice show for y'all today. Chaotic, a little chaotic kind of show that makes PR publicists drink at 9 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Throw a couple back early. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be talking about Marvel movies that may never, ever, ever see the light of day. It's all good. You know, maybe it come, maybe it won't. Maybe it come, maybe it won't. Also going to be talking about actors allegedly telling Disney to kick rocks. Y'all kick rocks. Get on up out of here, man. Get on up out of here. Kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? Peace. Move. Get out the way, as they say. You know what I'm talking about? Then we're gonna be solving the entire genre of hip-hop and what's going on and its midlife crisis that it has. We're gonna be doing that in 15 minutes. We're gonna try to stay on the 15 minutes. I highly doubt that. But yes, hip-hop is in the midlife crisis. So we gotta get into that. But first, how we doing in the chat, man? Who we got cracking in the chat? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Talk to me. Talk to me. BGFDHRE. What is good, my brother? What is good? He said, hey, you stream really well. I'd love to become your dedicated fan and support you. Mind adding me on Discord. Alex and one. You know, I do got a Discord. Let me write you down. Because why not? Why not? They say I need to get on Discord and do some things. Let's get it cracking. Alex and underscore Uno. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. We'll make it happen. I got you. I got you. I got you. But yeah, if you're in the chat, talk to me, man. If you're in the chat, let's get a thing. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. If you in the chat, you know. But yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Been a weird week. Started out, you know what I'm saying? Yes, yesterday I had a dope stream last night. Had a really dope stream last night. Talk about Welcome to Dairy episode 6. So if y'all missed it, y'all, hey, go back and watch that thing, man. Go back and watch that thing. Really dope stream last night. But yeah, man, I don't know if y'all seen the news, because like I said, it has been a real weird week, but scientists is doing some crazy stuff with spinach. I'm gonna just throw this out here. Seem like they letting spinach send emails or something. I don't know, man. It's wild. It is wild. It is wild. Just some of the stuff that you see on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, man. I don't know what's going on out here in the world today. I really don't. But let's get into it, man. We got a lot to cover. Let's dive straight into this dumpster fire, shall we? So we got some more in the chat. Hold on. What? Andre Ware, what is good? He say Sam's Avengers team is trash. You know, I heard that they're doing I guess the teaser came out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I already set up this show. I might just have to wait till tomorrow. If y'all bear with me, let me actually watch it so I can get, because you know I gotta talk my shit. You know I gotta talk my shit, right? You know I gotta talk about. So let me watch it, and I'll come back tomorrow, and we'll really get into it. You know what I'm saying? Patiently happy. What up? He said, I worked at a restaurant when Muslim customers came to eat. I secretly put pork. Oh, right. Don't get you. I don't know what that got anything to do with it. Q, what is up? And you shouldn't be doing that, man. That's bad. If you're doing that, you should not be doing that. I ain't finna sit here and even say I condone that shit. Do not do that. Q, what is up? Q, what is up? What's good? What's good? What's good? All right, though. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. You know we got to jump. You know where I got to start. You already know where I'm starting at. You know where I'm starting at. The homie Blizzard. The homie Blizzard. Blade, man. Jesus. Man, Blade just ain't coming. Don't seem like, you know what I'm saying? Blade just not coming. You know, first story of tonight comes from the world of Marvel. We're going to be doing Marvel for at least a little bit of this show. But specifically the corner of the Marvel universe where dreams go to die, because this movie it was a dream, and I don't even know if it's a nightmare. I don't even want to call it a nightmare. I don't know what to call it with this Blade situation. I don't know what to call it, man. It's never happening. You know what I'm saying? It is never happening. But I am talking about the Blade reboot. That is what I am talking about. So yeah, we got an update. You know, Mia Goth, who was fantastic, by the way. Salute to her. If you saw Pearl, she was terrifying, but she gave an update on the movie. She gave a little update on the movie. You know, she said everything is moving along. We have costume fittings and stuff. You know, sure thing, Mia. Costume fittings and stuff. Sure thing. This movie was announced. It was announced back in 2019, my friends. 2019. It's kids who's been born back in 2019, and they now reading big chapter books. That's how long it's been. Blade is still on the trying on the pants stage. What are we talking about? This production is going nowhere. Nowhere. At this point, Mahershala Ali, two-time Oscar winner, he's been waiting so long to play a vampire that he's actually starting to age out of the role of being immortal. He can't be Blade because he's going to be looking too old. By the time they start shooting Blade, Blade isn't going to need a sword. He's going to need a walker with the little tennis balls on the bottom. He's going to need something like that, man, a cane or something. Maybe he had the cane and it's got the sword in it. I don't know. But we got Mia Goth doing costume fitting. And when did she do this costume fitting? We're going to get into the article, but it's just crazy. That's her update. Her major update is costume fittings. Costume fittings is her major update. Costume, man, what is the costume? It's Blade, man. It's Blade. They wear black leather, trench coat, sunglasses at night. I wear my sunglasses at night. Come on, man. You can go and buy that outfit at any Hot Topic in the country right now. What are they fitting? What? It's like Feige, Marvel, and the powers that be over there is gaslighting us, man. They are literally gaslighting us with this BS. For real, for real. Y'all talk to me in the chat while I pull this article up so we can really get into it. Because this is This is crazy. This is really crazy, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm still trying to figure out what is going on. I do not get it. Just don't get it. It's come from superhero hype, man. Superhero hype. Says Blade movie gets update from Mia Goth, talks costume fittings. Like I said, costume fittings. Costumes, y'all. We talking about practice. Practice? Says Mia Goth provided an update on the delayed Blade MCU movie. Marvel Studios originally announced that the Blade movie was in development at San Diego Comic-Con back in July of 2019. Mahershala Ali is attached to star as the titular character, while the cast also includes Goth. However, and don't forget, everybody has walked away from this project. Like, ain't nobody left but Mahershala Ali and Mia Goth, so to speak, looks like. And I think Mia Goth just talking just to talk, but everybody else done left. Aaron Pierre left. Del Rolando left. So the project has had a hard time getting off the ground. You think? You think hard time getting off the ground, huh? However, the project has had a hard time getting off the ground as the script has gone through a number of different iterations since it was originally announced. What did Mia Goth say about Blade? Speaking to Josh Horowitz on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Goth was asked about Blade and her perspective on all the different delays the project has suffered. I don't know what's going on with that, she said. I think they want to make it, and it's such an important film for them, and they're taking their time with it. I really don't have any information. I don't know why it's taking the time that it has, but we will see. We will see. And even with that quote, it don't even sound like she is confident that she's still gonna be in the movie. Like, that's not giving me no confidence that she's in the movie. None whatsoever. Goth was also asked about one iteration of the Blade script that was reportedly set in the 1920s and will have seen the Pearl Star play a villainous character named Lilith. She goes on to say the furthest that it got with me was that I auditioned for that too, actually, Goth said. See how she's talking? I auditioned for that too. This whole Blade was never happening. Just listen to her talk. I need to go find this podcast so I can really see the look on her face and see the inflections in her voice and stuff like that. But the way she is talking is not giving me confidence that this movie even really got anywhere. The furthest that it got with me was that I auditioned for that too. She's still talking about how she auditioned. So did you get a call back saying you was in the movie or not? I auditioned for it. I auditioned for it. Cool. She said, I auditioned for that. And they flew to Atlanta. And we did a chemistry test between Mahershala Ali and I. We did a costume fitting and a wig fitting. I was very excited about the direction it was going. It was very cool. Mahershala Ali had such an interesting take on it. He was great. And then it just unraveled from there, unfortunately. That's what we getting. We did a costume fitting, wig fitting, drunk some wine, ate some cheese with Mahershala Ali, and that was it. That's as far as we got. That's it. House gang. That's as far as they got. That's it. That is as far as they got. So at this time, the new Blade movie does not have a release date from Marvel. No director is attached to the project. 2 other versions of Blade, Wesley Snipes and Deadpool and Wolverine, and Ty Williams' Blade Knight in Marvel Zombies, has since appeared in the MCU since the movie was originally announced. So you know what's about to happen. Wesley will be back. And they might as well just go ahead and announce that. Hey, we think we're going to go with Wesley. Marvel is grasping their straws right now anyway. Everything they're doing right now is for shock value. Just announce the Wesley Snipes move. Make it happen. Make it happen. Save yourself from this train wreck that you got going on right now. Because that's what you really have is a train wreck. You got a train wreck right now. Ty, you couldn't even get Mahershala Ali to be in Marvel Zombies. That ain't good. And then even the excuse that y'all used was whack. Oh, well, we could have did it, but I think the timing was just off. You could have had Mahershala Ali go into a closet and record those. And from my understanding, this was done way. This was done during WandaVision days, from my understanding. This is crazy, man. I don't know if they don't want to just announce that Blade is not coming. Hey, look, we made a mistake. We're not doing Blade. Like, quit gaslighting us and keep trying to give us these little crazy ass updates that don't make no damn sense. You know what I'm saying? QQ says just stopping in. I'll be back on replacement and need a time with my pops and stuff. Oh, you studying for the ASVAB, bro? That is what's up, man. What branch? When you come back, tell me what branch you thinking about going into, man. Do that. Get as high as, hey, get the best score possible, bro. I think I scored like an 89 on the ASVAB, you know. Get the highest you can possible. Since Blade is gone like the child, only Blade we will see is Wesley Snipes, just a mess. Andre Ware, you are 1000% correct. That's exactly what I think too. That's it. Blade gone just like T'Challa. Wesley gonna show up. Wesley being, we'll get Wesley. I'm just wondering why they just won't announce the Wesley Snipes move. Just announce it. Wesley is primed, ready to go. He ain't doing jack. Not that I know of. Get him in the game. Put him in the game. In fairness, she didn't frame anything. She said as an update of any kind, not major nor minor. Articles written on quotes invariably take artistic license with those things. And did on stamina. You right. I'm not saying, all I'm saying, the way it was framed, that's why I said I would like to see the actual podcast. You know what I'm saying, to get the quotes, because she making it seem like ain't no movie coming. We auditioned, we did that, and that's it. I ain't heard from it since we did that. You know what I'm saying? That is it. Jay the Informer, what up, bro? You said the furthest it got was it. Yep, the announcement of 29th. That's the farthest it got. They had that man walk out on that stage, wave, and do all of that, wearing a Blade hat, and that was it. That's the only. That's all we got from Mahershala Ali, man. Him and his Blade hat. That was it. That was it. That was it. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Stammer said there's no real reason to think a Wesley Snipes led feature would be any better handled. Mahershala isn't an issue. Marvel is. Right. Look, I don't know who. I don't think Mahershala is the issue. But if he is, he is. Cool. He got every right to be, especially if they're not doing it right. Right. But Marvel, either way, Marvel would totally be the problem, because they're supposed to bring him the best script possible. You know what I mean? Or and put their best foot forward when presenting whatever it is they got to present to Mahershala Ali. So Marvel is, you know how I feel about Marvel right now. You know how I feel about that crew over there, Feige them. I don't think they I don't think everything is screwed on tight over there. I think the whatever that they got going on over there, it ain't the best. It's not a well-oiled machine like we once thought it was. I don't know, Lawrence. It's YouTube, man. YouTube be wilding. YouTube be wilding. But yeah, y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Do y'all think is this getting canceled? You know, matter of, do you think we'll ever see this movie in the theaters? Y'all let me know if y'all think we'll ever see this in the theaters, or let me know if you think it's getting canceled and turned into a tax write-off like Batgirl. Let me know in the comments below. Lauren said, "Did you see the leak?" I saw. Yes, I did see it. I want to watch it and go through it so I can talk about it. And I think it's an actual teaser with some footage I saw floating around. I don't know how real that is. So I want to do a little bit more vetting, and then probably tomorrow, or it won't be tomorrow. Probably tomorrow we'll be talking about it. So yeah, yep. I don't think we would see Blade for a good 5 years, bro. It can't be Mahershala, not in 5 years. That's nuts. That is nuts. That's crazy. Let's keep it rolling. Let's talk about my dog. Mrs. Jen Walters, Tatiana Maslany, aka She-Hulk. Let's talk about her, cause girl, we knew that. Come on now. If you really thought that was gonna be, I mean, and I'm glad she's standing her ground, right? I am glad she is standing her ground. Salute to her. But yeah, it's it is what it is. It is what it is. So it's some buzz floating around with Tatiana Maslany's future in the MCU, which I didn't think. I thought she played a good She-Hulk. I thought she was a good Jennifer Walters. I'm a fan of her work. From Orphan Black, because she was dope in that. She played, and I think she won awards for that show. She's a dope actress, you know what I'm saying? But this show was not it. She-Hulk just was not it. They gave her a bad runway and a bad plane. Like everything about that show was not gonna take off. And even all the people were saying, "Oh, y'all just mad because it called out the toxic blah blah blah." That's the dumbest thing in the world that you want to do with an IP like this. That is dumb. Maybe if you wanted to do an episode like that, cool. You don't have a whole show revolving around that. That is the dumbest thing. It's dumb. It's dumb, and it got played as soon as you did it. Either way, she's saying she ain't got no, ain't no future in the MCU for her. It's hit a snag. It seems she allegedly has no interest in even coming back or working with Disney, Marvel anymore. Anyway, like she said, I ain't got no interest in that. I'm cool on y'all. Now as of right now, I haven't seen it come out her mouth. So these are just internet rumors that we have to take with a grain of salt. But this sort of be the size of a Volkswagen, because I really did. It's true to me. I believe. But we got to explore this idea, because I do think that this is fascinating. Because if this is true, Tatiana Maslany has some of the biggest cojones this side of the Mason-Dixon line. Because I don't know any actors or actresses who just come out and break up with Disney. And it ain't like she's the biggest actress anyway. Her resume ain't that long. So for her to come out and just say, nah, I'm good. Because when you think about it, Disney ain't just a boyfriend you just break up with, you know what I'm saying? Or you just block on Instagram or whatever. You don't do that. Disney is kind of like a country, a sovereign nation that's got its own nukes. You know what I'm saying? And theme parks. you don't just break up with Disney like that, right? Or do you? Or do you? You know what I mean? And like I said, She-Hulk, polarizing is to say the least. Some people like the meta commentary, which was dumb. And when I say some, I think it was a small amount. You know, some people hated the CGI. I know the twerking She-Hulk meme was floating around with Megan Thee Stallion. That didn't bother me. You know, it is what it is. The CGI did look like a PS3 cutscene though. It looked something fresh out of the 2010s. It did. But like I said, Tatiana Maslany, she was dope regardless. What they gave, whatever script they gave her, she really put it down. She really did the best with whatever that script was in that story. It wasn't her fault that the show was trash. It was not her fault whatsoever. I even advocate, even though she might, if she is walking away, I hate to hear that, but I advocate for bringing her back and doing like a full reboot and trying to get it back jump started. Maybe a season 2, but we're going to forget about all that stuff that we did in season 1. We're going to do a different direction. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But her saying you don't have any interest in working with Disney in Hollywood right now, that's like saying you ain't got no interest. You know what I'm saying? Breathing, because it's hard out here in Hollywood right now. It's really hard out here in Hollywood, man. So, Miss Maslany, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You going the indie route? Tubi? Theater, maybe? Because you got to think Disney owns ABC, ESPN, Hulu, Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic, couple of souls. They like Thanos out here. You know what I'm saying? So, chat, y'all beat it up in the comments. Let's get into the story. Let's get into the actual story. Let's get into the actual story. Because it's wild, man. This is wild. At least to me, it is. It's wild. It is wild. I'm with it though. I told you I'm with the shenanigans. I like the shenanigans. Tatiana Maslany She-Hulk future in MCU hits a snag as she has no interest in working with Disney. Maslany's future as She-Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe might be headed into uncertain territory. And the new report has fans wonder what happens next for good old Jennifer Walters. Jen? What you got coming next, girl? Jen, what we doing? Doomsday is on the horizon. What you doing? Maybe we can slide in the sequel. No? All right. A fresh update from Reliable Industry Insider, My Time to Shine, suggests that Marvel Studios still has big plans for She-Hulk. So My Time to Shine saying She-Hulk still is on the table. She-Hulk still on the table according to My Time to Shine. Said the studio wants to bring the character to appear in a big way in Avengers Secret Wars, which would be the sequel to Doomsday. Okay, that's what they say. But the challenge comes with the actors behind the character. He's explained that Maslany has no interest in working with Disney at this point. For Marvel fans hoping to see her smash back into the franchise, that's not the update I'm sure that they was expecting. So I wonder, with her not wanting to come back, do they recast? Are they okay with recasting for those purposes? Huh? If an actress doesn't want to come back, the show must go on, or do they just kill She-Hulk off? Right. Do they write in the story that She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, quit? She does not want to be a superhero anymore, and she does not want to be a lawyer anymore. Do they figure out a way to write that into the story? And maybe we get Scar instead? You know, that's what they do, right? We could just pass the mantle on. Give it to Scar. Scar can just fill that spot. They can make Scar a lawyer or something. I don't know. Private eye. You know what I'm saying? Says as Marvel Studios cannot change her mind, the report states the studio will be left with two choices. Like I said, they can either recast the role or remove the character from the current MCU roadmap entirely. This article says neither option is ideal for fans who embrace Maslany's take on the hero, but you know, it is what it is. Maslany hasn't detailed her grievances with Disney specifically, but she has been vocal on a number of issues this year that put her at odds with the company. In September, she joined several actors calling for a boycott of streaming platforms such as Hulu, Disney Plus, after ABC, a Disney-owned network, suspended Jimmy Kimmel for his job for a week. So she's taking a hard stance for Jimmy. Jimmy back at work, though, Tatiana. Jimmy is back at work, girl. It's okay to cross the picket line now. He back. We good. Come on. Come on. He good. She's also been outspoken about her support for Palestine and urged her followers to cancel Disney Plus subscriptions due to the company remaining on the BDS list, which is the collection of products advocates encourage people to avoid because of its ties to Israel. Never mind, Tatiana. You might actually stand on it. But yeah, after that, I doubt they even think about bringing you back anyway. After you telling them to boycott their product, to cancel Disney Plus, and that's where your show was at. You hardcore, shawty. You hardcore, but I'm with it. I am with it. Advocate. I think you should advocate. That's the way you advocate. That is the way you advocate. I'm with it. I'm with it. Since Marvel Studios has been actively working to reshape the future of the MCU, especially as it heads towards Avengers Secret Wars. One of the most anticipated projects in its upcoming slate, losing Maslany She-Hulk will create a noticeable gap. No, it won't. Now, that's one thing I disagree with. Losing She-Hulk would not create a noticeable gap. Nobody checked for She-Hulk. She-Hulk has no merit on anything going forward. So what noticeable gap would there be? What noticeable gap? It wasn't even a good storyline in the show. Besides Maslany being She-Hulk, the best part of the show is probably Wong and old girl. What was the girl's name? Other than that, ain't no noticeable gap. They said Jennifer Walters brings a different energy and perspective to the superhero lineup, and her dynamic with characters like Bruce Banner and Daredevil opens the door for some storytelling possibilities. Yeah, but they botched it. Marvel botched it, which is they known for botching things lately. That's we just gotta Give it to them. That's what they do. That's their MO as of right now. They can course correct, but as of right now, they botch things. They are good at botching shit. That's their MO. That is their signature. We're going to botch a character. We're going to bring a character out. He or she is not going to be like what you're used to. And we're going to botch the hell out of them. And then we're going to blame you as the fan for not liking the shitty product that we gave. That's Disney's MO right now. So until they course correct that, ain't no damn, who cares? Honestly, won't be no gap. Don't nobody care about She-Hulk. So Marvel clearly wants Maslany in the mix, and fans would love to see her return, but it's hard to say where things ultimately land. Recasting would be a tough sell, and removing the character feels like it would leave some unfinished business. I don't agree with that. What? Recasting would not be, I hate to say it, it would not be tough. Recasting would not be tough. It wouldn't. First season was played by Tatiana Maslany. Next season will be played by whoever, the next actress up. That's Hollywood, man. That's the business. That's the game, man. So I don't know why it would be tough. And removing the character feels like it would leave some unfinished business. She would have to start some business first. She would have to start some business. Daredevil just came back. Daredevil didn't acknowledge what he did out there in California with She-Hulk. Didn't acknowledge it whatsoever. You know who got acknowledgement in the Daredevil show? Miss Marvel. Not She-Hulk. Miss Marvel. He ain't spent no time with Miss Marvel whatsoever. Right? Whatsoever. But they did a callback to Miss Marvel. They ain't do no callback for She-Hulk. Because nobody cares. Nobody. It won't be a hard sell to recast. Won't be a hard sell to replace her. Or to remove her, I should say. None whatsoever. Pack her up. Get her out of here. And as I say that, I want to salute Tatiana Maslany for standing 10 toes down on what she believes in. I think that's admirable, commendable. I really salute that. That's dope to me. That's dope to me. But as far as Jen Walters, She-Hulk, it needs to be redone because whatever they gave her some ass juice to work with, and she did the best possible, but nah. Nope. So y'all let me know in the chat. Matter of fact, let's see what's going on in the chat. Let's see what y'all talk about in the chat. What y'all talking about in the chat? Where am I at? Y'all been talking. Jay did inform us I never caught She-Hulk. Yeah, ain't no need to catch it. No real need. I think they could have kept all those anti-incel themes in the show if that was the B or C theme, but it was basically the A theme that was next to fuck all else going on. Right, but that's what I'm saying. You want to do that, cool. I think you're giving too much for my liking, I think. For me, an episode that you can drive home to, maybe the last episode you can call back to it or something like that, but it definitely should not be the A theme of the show. It most definitely should not be the A theme of the show. That was crazy to me. He also says, great actor done filthy by a hack writing team. Episode 8 with Daredevil was a high point, but her Disney grievances are not even our grievances with the show itself or the hate she got thereafter. Oh, no, like I said, her grievances, I salute her grievances. Let her grieve. Let her, gripe, bitch, moan, complain, especially about stuff like that. I'm fine. I think more actors and actresses more creators. If you have something like that and you can leverage something, you know what I'm saying, to make a little bit of change or to make, to bring awareness to something, I say do it. I say do it. This is not the only one with Israel ties. Recast her, recast and never bring on Megan. No companies, most companies have ties. Yep. She must not want to work. I don't, but and now that is now her coming out and say, I don't know if she want to work or not. I don't know. But if she is doing that, then hopefully she understands the consequences of doing that, because um when you do that to one company, all the other companies are gonna look at you like, well, if we get into some trouble, is she gonna do that to us? All it, you know what I'm saying? All it takes is for you to really badmouth the way, publicly, and you could really be ostracized, because Hollywood is a small business. Everybody know everybody, you know what I'm saying? You could really be ostracized for that. So hopefully she understands that, and that it was a business decision that she made. Chill. So by the time she did the unsubscribe thing, she already knew her name was blacklisted. Saudi Arabia and Israel, they do got them pockets. Culture in the building. So what's happening, OG? What up, chat? You like She-Hulk for real? Look, if you liked it, I don't have no issue with anybody liking She-Hulk. I thought they did a disservice to the character. I read She-Hulk. Oh, that's how She-Hulk is in the books. What book did y'all read to where she was acting that way? She-Hulk does not act that. That's not her. She-Hulk is an uber confident, uh, highly sexual. They did a little bit of that, but she not no complaining ass. I hate to use the word, but she not. She just, y'all know what I want to say. That ain't her. That is not her. That ain't the Jen Walters that I read. She might have got that boot, but this article was put out to make it look like she left. Could be both. Mutual exits. Mutual exits. So they basically show off Harvey Birdman attorney law, and that show is hilarious. Yeah, Harvey Birdman attorney law is hilarious. She-Hulk was not. She-Hulk was stupid. She-Hulk was stupid. Replace with Jessica. I can go with that. Jessica Jones, like you said, it's cheaper, no CGI for her super strength. I think, I don't know why. Maybe they should go the Lou Ferrigno route with She-Hulk. Maybe go the Lou Ferrigno route with She-Hulk. Bring in the body double, green paint, little to no CGI, as practical as possible. Only time you really need CGI is maybe on some close-up things, you know what I'm saying? Try that. I think that'll help it out a lot. He can go too. He can go too. I don't like his Hulk. And then when I found out the reason why we don't have a Savage Hulk is because he said he didn't want a Savage. He said we didn't. He can go too. Mark, you can pack Mark up and get him up out of here. So she was working beforehand. Marvel didn't make her, so they can't break her either. She was, she was working, and like I said, she's highly talented and she's bored, but she ain't worked on like big. She did Orphan Black, which was dope, right? But I don't. They can break her. They can. when you say stuff like this, you can most definitely be broke. Most definitely. Not bye. Bye. You don't want. You might be on the mobile side. Stamina. Come back to the other stream. I think that's where everybody at. I don't think they want to see my face so close up. I don't know why it does that, but that's what it does. That's what it does. Since they did the body double thing on one of the eps, it looks solid, but for the action beats that the character really needs, I don't know if it'll hold up longer term. They smart people. They smart people, or they should be smart people. But it's Marvel, so never know with them. Never know with them. But yeah, man, if you was an actor, would you take the Marvel bag of cash? Even if it meant going against what you got to do and then doing, some CGI twerking or whatever, would you do that? Or would you respect the artistic integrity of telling the mouth to kick rocks, right? Tell them to kick rocks. So, y'all let me know what y'all would do in the chat. Would y'all stand up, 10 toes down for Jimmy and Palestine? Or would you say, nah, I want to be She-Hulk? Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Y'all let me know in the comments. You do have to pick your battles. You got to pick your battles. On my laptop playing Rivals, I'm addicted. Hey, Rivals is dope. Rivals is dope. Rivals is dope. All right, let's keep this thing moving. Let's get to this last topic, y'all. Last topic. I said I'm gonna try to do this in 15 minutes. This last topic. This hip hop, so I can get long winded with hip hop. Just as much as I go in on Feige, I can get long winded on hip hop. Hip hop is my first love. Comics is probably the second. You know what I'm saying? And movies and things, like everything else follows. Hip hop is my first love. Hip hop is my first love. So let's get into it. Hip hop's midlife crisis. Hip hop's midlife crisis. So yeah, we got to switch some gears, man. Going from CGI lawyers to something a little heavier. Something a little heavier, man. Came across an article this past weekend. That just had a provocative title, right? Said life after death, why hip hop needs to die so it can live again. And most people call me like an old head, and I can always talk about how music was better in 94 and things of that. Like, and I ain't gonna, 94 was a cold year for hip hop. And 94, 5, and 6, cold years, man. Cold years. And hip hop, it just turned 50. So it's officially in it's middle age. Actually, it's past middle age, but it's middle age. Middle age. And like anyone who turns 50, it's having a crisis. You know what I'm saying? It is having a crisis. It seems to have bought, when they had that crisis, they buy that sports car. They do that. And it seems like hip hop has bought the sports car that they just can't afford. They went and got the hair plugs, you know what I'm saying? Trying to date younger people. Drake, I'm looking at you, buddy. But the argument in this article, man, is basically that hip hop has just become too mainstream. Right? Too mainstream. So corporate, so safe that it's lost the rebellious edge that made it vital in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Because hip hop, Hip hop has always been counterculture. It's always been counterculture. And it was always supposed to deliver a message, being counterculture. You know, speaking on politics, speaking on things that's going on ground level. And I just think it's lost a lot of that. You now hear, and they've always, I want to say, since Run DMC put on Shell Toes Adidas and put on Gazelles, corporations have been trying to monetize, corporatize hip hop. So now it's got to the point to where you now even hear trap beats in insurance commercials, right? The Geico Gecko out here trapping. You know what I'm saying? Jake from State Farm. So when the revolutionary art form that is hip hop is now being used to sell Ozempic during the Super Bowl and things of that nature, maybe it seems that the plot has been lost. You know what I'm saying? But does it need to die? Is my question. Does it actually need to die? Because some would say that seems real dramatic. Like, damn, it needs to die. But if you're old like me, and you remember when Superman died in the 90s, Superman died. Y'all, look, Superman died. And when he died in the 90s, it was a big, huge deal. He was dead. Gone forever. Dead, y'all. Dead. For like 6 months. Right? Then he came back with a mullet. All black. So that seems to be like the cycle of everything that has staying power. Everything that is cultural has to go the way of the phoenix. It's the cycle of everything. Punk rock died. Became Green Day on Broadway. Grunge died. Became Nickelback. Hip hop ain't dead. It's just comfortable now. It's just comfortable. And great art rarely comes from comfort. And that's what we are getting right now. That's why you're not getting hip hop that has that long lasting staying power. Because it's comfortable. Most Def said it best. It's Target shopping music now. So many SKUs. Remember when he said that? Do y'all remember that? Great art rarely comes out of comfort. Great art comes out of struggle. It comes out of pain. It comes out of having a specific job to do, a specific story to tell. Specific areas, specific regions. Hip hop has become homogenized to where you don't even know where the sound is coming from. And that's what made hip hop so dope back in the day. If I wanted to take a trip up to New York, I could throw on some Wu-Tang, some Nas, some Jay-Z, 50 Cent. If I wanted to go out west, I could throw on some Cube, MWA, Snoop Dogg, E40, Too Short, Mac Mall. If I wanted to go to Texas, UGK, Scarface, Ghetto Boy, Screwed Up Click, Color Changing Click. If you want to go down south, Outkast, Dungeon Family, Jermaine Dupri, Yin Yang Twins, Little John, Trick Daddy, Midwest Nelly, Bone Thugs, Twister. Even Tennessee has a certain twang and sound to it. 8-Ball MJG, 3-6 Mafia, Yo Gotti. Now, you don't know what's coming from what, because it all sounds the same. All of it sounds the same, man. So let's get into this article. And this article, why is it doing it? I want to get into this article. Should I read the whole thing? Because it's a long article. It's a Substack. We'll get through it. Let's get through it. Because it's a Substack. Add it to the stage. It's Hezekiah's Substack. So if y'all read Substacks or whatever, go check out his Substack. Hezekiah's Substack. This is life after death, why hip hop needs to die so it can live again. Why the culture that raised us is being declared dead, and why that might be the best thing for its future. Can y'all see that? Let me make this. Blow that up a little bit. That's good. Says the culture that raised us. The first album I ever got was Speaker Box Love Below. Great album. I remember buying that as well. Legally, that was legally that is, shout out to Julia Davis Public Library on the north side of St. Louis. I definitely owe y'all some seat. Hey, that was a big hack. And it's still a hack today. I like that he even threw that in here. If y'all want to go watch movies, go to your local library. Go check out the movie. You want to go listen to a CD or some music? Go check out the CD from the local library. They normally have things like that in your local library. Go get you a library card. Listen to me, people. This is a hack. Go get you a library card. Go down to your local library and you can check out movies. And they normally have new movies down there for the most part. Instead of paying crazy prices with these streaming networks, keep that DVD player, you know what I'm saying? Keep it. Hell, now some what is this? A website out that will link your ID, your library card to it, and you can check out the digital version and watch it either on your phone or your TV through the app. So look into things like that. Back to the article. Just throwing that out there. Back to the article. So think back to a time before you could listen to any song for over $10 a month. I don't know. This is a lot. Give me 1 second. This is a lot to read. I think I got a better way to do it. Give me 1 second. Because that is a lot to read. So give me a second. Checking that out right now. That is a lot. Man. All right, let's do it either way. I thought I could find something. Let me see. Get back to it. Say, I can still feel the moment of handing my hard-earned $20 over the cashier, peeling back the shrink wrap, cracking open the double disc jewel case, and sliding each CD into a worn-out player like I was inserting keys that would unlock another dimension. It did. That album, genre, and culture will become more than sound for me. It became life. And that's what hip hop is like that. Hip hop, I think coming up, if you were born in it, you just live it. Like hip hop is just who you are. You just live it. You know what I'm saying? It layered life lessons on top of 808s, delivered blueprints with rhythm and express your thoughts that I didn't have yet have a language for. It made me feel seen, understood, pushed, and expanded. And I don't think it does things like that no more. I don't think, me personally, I don't think it's a driving force to help develop you as a person. Because when I look at art, music, uh, poetry, whatever, it should help develop who you are. It should help give that voice that you don't have. It should help you be able to push that out. Because sometimes that's all we need, a song. Just need a song to help us go talk to that girl, right? Sometimes we just need a song to help us get over that heartbreak that he did. Sometimes we just need a song to help us get through a couple extra reps in the gym. Or to motivate us when we get up to go take the test that we need to pass. His name is Hezekiah. You say who wrote the article? You see, Hezekiah, Hezekiah. Hezekiah Substack. That's who wrote this article. So hip hop did that not just for me, but for countless others who grew up with this culture, not as entertainment, but as education. Some sort of spiritual inheritance, a coded language for survival, ambition, identity, imagination. We didn't just listen to hip hop, we lived with it. It grew up inside of us. And that's how I feel about hip hop. I didn't just listen to it, I lived it. We all lived it. And it grew inside. So that's what makes the recurrent conversation around hip hop's death feel so personal. This isn't just a genre declining in popularity. This is a piece of our upbringing that declared obsolete by the same audience and industry that once championed it. As many weirdly rushed to deliver hip hop's eulogy, I thought I'd try to give a voice to the very same culture that once helped me find my own. This is hip hop's rebirth theory. But before we talk about death, we need to talk about the importance. And before we utter the words hip hop is dead, we need to talk about the cycle that it's trapped inside. And it is trapped inside a cycle. It is trapped inside a cycle. I like that he wrote this. I like that he wrote this article because writing this article is this ain't even it's about hip hop, like the genre music, but it's more about the people. It's more about somebody like me, somebody probably like everybody in this chat who grew up off of hip hop, who grew up living in hip hop. Because it's more than the music, it's more than the business, it's more than what the videos and things we see. It's what resonated in us. Say black music is American music. I want you to understand hip hop's so-called death. You may have to first understand how American music lives and dies. Black music is the foundation of America's musical identity, not a footnote, not a subculture, the backbone. And that's facts. Black American music is what makes any kind of music in America. Any kind of music in America. Every major musical innovation in this country, spirituals, blues, jazz, rock and roll, R&B, funk, disco, house, techno, and yes, hip hop came from black imagination, black ingenuity, black communities, creating something out of nothing. Something out of nothing. And every time America responds the same way, black people created the sound, America falls in love, America commercializes it, America sanitizes it, America forgets where it came from, and then America discards it when it no longer feels new enough, profitable enough, edgy enough, or white enough. And that's why you see people who slide in, pretend that they hip hop and then slide back out. Post Malone, looking at you. It happened with the blues when white rock bands became global icons while black bluesmen played to half empty rooms. It happened with jazz, when born in rebellion and improvisation, but ended up sealed in a glass case of cultural respectability. It happened with disco, so deeply black, brown, and queer that straight white America publicly burned it down. It happened with house and techno, stripped of the black origins and rebranded as EDM once Europe decided to capitalize on it. Hip hop is simply the largest genre to reach that inevitable stage of American consumption, the moment where the mainstream claims that it's over. I wish he would have underlined mainstream declares that it's over. To his credit, Nas was the first one to say it out loud. Back in 2006, I still got that album somewhere. Hip hop is dead wasn't a melodramatic proclamation. It was prophecy. A warning of what happens when the culture's creators lose control and the powers that be plunder it and all of its value and then decide it's time to move on. Does that sound familiar? But for hip hop, the story doesn't end there, because hip hop has always been more than music. It's been identity, community, resistance, innovation, truth, which is why its death might actually be a beginning. But hold that thought, he says. He says, let's talk about the cheapening of a culture. If you really want to understand why the conversation of hip hop's demise keeps resurfacing, don't look at the artists, look at the industry. The industry is what's out here fucking us over. It ain't necessarily the artists. They just jumping, they getting in where they fit in. It's the industry. While hip hop's downfall started long before the digital age of music, we can unequivocally point to streaming as the catalyst that changed everything. And I said streaming was the worst thing. It's convenient. It's convenient. Walk around with 1 million songs that you can listen to at the push of a button. But man, did it change things for the worse. And that's not just with music. I think streaming has entertainment, period. It is killing entertainment. It's killing it. It's killing Hollywood. It's killing the music scene. It's killing it. Streaming, they got to do something with streaming, man. They got to do something with streaming. So once the music industry realized hip hop was cheap to produce, easy to market, meme friendly, and sticky in the algorithm, it strictly became a numbers game. This realization just so happened to come at a time where record labels were scrambling to figure out how to gain control of a landscape that quickly disposed of the traditional music consumption model in favor of digital, democratic musical ecosystem. Thus, labels fully exploited and leveraged the world's most dominant genre by making it the backbone of the streaming economy. No longer nurturing artists, but instead mass producing songs. The goal shifted from artistry to output. And even right now, you saw me talk about AI. They doing the same thing with AI. They're doing the same thing with AI. They are using black music to promote AI. So you get comfortable with AI. They're using black music to do that. And I'm not saying AI is good nor bad, because it's just a tool. Right? But they did with streaming. They use black music to promote streaming. This is what they do with our black art. NBC, they used Bill Cosby to push NBC real heavy. It worked. They saw that model work. What did Fox do? Fox came in, brand new, took black art, put it on the top of things. That's how they got Fox off the ground. Black art. Once it became a viable product or viable company, they discarded the black art. They got rid of the In Living Colors. They got rid of the Martins. They got rid of the Living Singles. Got rid of them. UPN, WB on, if y'all old enough to remember that, did the same thing. Black art over there. Wayans Brothers, Moesha, the Parkers. What am I missing? The Hewleys. They had a lot of black shows over there. Steve Harvey show. As soon as it became viable and they did that merger, got rid of them shows. That's what the industry does. They take black art so they can promote what they want. And then once it gets to viability, they discard what made it viable. They discard what make it viable, which is normally the black art that did that. The goal shifted from artistry to output. This is how we ended up with copy-paste soundscapes. Like I said, everything sounds the same. Songs engineered for virality instead of longevity. Don't nobody care about making music that lasts anymore. Oh, it's a vibe. It's a bop. Vibes and bops change. You want music that is lasting. You want art that lasts the test of time. Artists pressured to release constantly. Listeners trained to consume endlessly. Music treated as a disposable content. Back in the day, people would spend hard-earned money to go to a studio, get a producer. I got to pay the producer. I got to pay the engineer. I got to pay for the studio. I sit down at the kitchen table to write my rhymes or to write my song. And it takes me a long time to put this piece of art together. And that could be just for one song, let alone an album. But now with like this author said, everything is copy and paste. Everything is copy and paste. Rappers ain't writing their rhymes no more. Producers is using AI to produce. Fruit of Loops, Pro Tools, and everything is a click of a button. Everybody got a studio in there. I remember, look, back when I was rapping, because I come from where you had to pay for the studio time, and I even fell folly to it. I'm a victim of that too. I said, oh, I could just get a computer, download Pro Tools, get Fruity Loops, and you know what I'm saying, be DJ push button. I fell folly to it. I admit I became part of the problem. I didn't know at that time, but I became part of the problem. So hip hop went from being the soundtrack to entire neighborhoods, communities, and livelihoods to the background noise for TikTok trends. That's what they think about your music. They relegated it to TikTok trends. When the industry cheapens the art, the culture loses its foundation. And once the foundation collapses, something even worse happens. The audience stops listening with intention and starts watching with detachment. And if you don't know what that means, it means that the way you consume music changes. You're no longer consuming it to enjoy the product. Now you consume it to detach, to talk shit about, to criticize, to condone, to see how bad a project is. And that's, like I said, that's all things. Even y'all who tune in and listen to me every day talk shit about Marvel, it's because the way I consume has changed. The way they've programmed us to consume changed things. Us sitting inside for COVID allowed them to program us to sit on our behinds and expect them to bring the content to us. It used to be a point in time where you got your behind up, you went to the store to find the content that you wanted. And to me, that made it meant something to hold something physical, or it meant something to where it inconvenienced you to go out and have to go look for something. Does Target have it? Does Walmart have it? Does FYE have this CD? This, you know what I'm saying? Sold out. Sold out here, sold out there. Nothing sells out anymore. I don't think they understand when a product sells out what that means for that product. What it does to the human psyche when we understand, damn, it sold out. That shit that good, it sold out. Now we ain't got it here, champ. You're going to have to go down to Peppermint Music. The Spectator era. I think of no better moment that brought this theory into sharper focus for me than the Drake versus Kendrick battle. I think a lot of people now look at that battle, you know, a little bit different, just different. It put a lot of things in focus. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it was thrilling. Yes, it showed hip hop still has the power to seize global attention. Yes, it reminded people of the raw competitiveness that built the culture, but it also revealed the truth we haven't wanted to face. Hip hop's loudest commentators were not from the culture. The most viral reactions came from people who weren't even raised by this music. It's nasty. That's disgusting. And the discourse was dominated by spectators, not participants. We talk about hip hop being a sport. Well, I should say rap, the art of rapping being a sport. Imagine any other sport and they have, let's say we're talking football, and it's football players talking football, or we watching football, and then somebody who never watches football, didn't grow up playing football, don't know nothing about football. They might be a pool player or something, just some other sport, but come in and start talking about football, critiquing football, acting like they know football, acting like they lived football. That's what happened with the Kendrick versus Drake situation. Hip hop became a spectacle, a sport, a meme factory. People weren't listening to understand; they were listening to pick sides, to take takes, to create takes, to farm engagement. Hip hop wasn't being felt anymore; it was being consumed. And is this reminded? This got to be hitting home for some of y'all who, if like me, also grew up. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the '80s, so entertainment was around me, whether it was movies, TV, or music. And that's why this article, I kind of really, it really felt, I really felt it because every entertainment thing that I loved, it seems to be dying. It seems to be drowning on its own puke right now. The entertainment business, they don't know which way is up. Music, they don't know which way is up. TV, they don't know which way is up. All of it. And I'm telling you, it's because of streaming. Streaming is nasty work. The prophecy resurfaced. That's why a recent statistic hit the timeline harder than crack in the 80s. For the first time since 1990, no rap or hip hop songs appeared in the Billboard Hot 100 Top 40. And I hate that a lot of things are surrounding the conversation surrounding hip hop not being on the Billboard Top 40, because they changed the rules to where you can only be in the top 40 for so long, and then they boot you out. So Luther by Kendrick would have still been in the top. It's a couple of songs that would have still been in the top 40, but because they changed the rules, you know, they had to go, and that's the way it is. But I hate, another thing that I hate is we're dictating our culture by Billboard. Billboard should not be dictating the hip hop culture. We should not look to Billboard to see what is hot or not. Billboard, I mean, it's a good a good litmus test, but Billboard should not be the where we go to be like, oh, this is it. That's why I hate that we don't have 106 in Park no more, or those countdown where we actually called in, and you know what I'm saying, or the radio where actual people are probably more involved in what's hot and what's not on an 80-20 basis than, because with Billboard, what is that, algorithmic now? You know what I'm saying? Who is determining what's the top 40 hit now for Billboard? Is it the people? Is it sales? Do sales even matter? Bring back the 106 in Parks. Bring back the TRL. Bring back these countdowns where the people can actually call up, where the people can actually vote for the song. So people ignorantly assume that this is the final confirmation that the culture has collapsed, but charts don't measure cultural vitality. They measure commercial interest, and commercial interest is fickle. It moves on the second it finds a cheaper thrill. It's like a crackhead, man, or a drug addict, I should say. If they can find the drug cheaper, they're going to quit buying from you. Hell, that's anything. Hip-hop's decline in chart presence is the cultural failure. It's the failure of the industry that exploited it into the numbers dip. Hip-hop isn't dying. The industry version of hip-hop is dying. To be honest with you, that might be the best thing that has happened to the culture in a really, really long time. Salute to Jay out here in Marcy Projects watching TV. Is it even plugged up? Yep, it's plugged up and everything. The gift and the curse. They're going to say, I'll be the first to say it. Maybe hip hop needs to die. Not in spirit, not in culture, but in scale. And I agree with this. It needs to be shrunk down. Maybe it needs to die commercially so it can live artistically. Now that's a bar. It needs to die commercially so it can live artistically, so we can get back to the art of. Because I think that's what it really is. The art form is lost. The art form now is just making money. The rappers, it's a lick to them. The artist now is just a lick. Just a lick. I grew, and I hate to sound like the old guy. You know, I grew up, or I remember when, but it's true. You had to have talent. Talent shows happen. That was a make or break moment for a lot of people coming up who wanted to do something. Talent show. Can you sing, girl? Get up there and sing. You either get the boo or you get the applause. Can you rap? Get in the cipher. Spit something. Let's go. Can you do that? That's where the steel was sharpened at. That don't happen no more. Now, to me, the artists, they don't have talent. They hide behind clout. Who got the most clout is now the thing, right? Who got the most money? But can you rap, though? Can you rap, though? Can you sing, though? If it damn about no clout, can you tell a dope story? If I put this beat on, can you rap to it? Maybe it needs to shrink so it can sharpen. Maybe it needs to stop being the center of pop culture to become the center of its own culture again. Death clears space. Death makes room. Death invites a rebirth, and hip hop is always known to resurrect itself. How much left we got? We ain't got that much left. Okay, cool. Life after death. So what does rebirth look like? Maybe it's the return of a regional sound. I would love for it to go back to regions. I'm slowly seeing that a little bit, but I would love to go back to regions. To me, that was the best thing about hip hop in general, was it was regional. And when it needed to become a national thing or a global thing, it did, but then it would revert back to the region. When the South sounded like the South, the West sounded like the West, Midwest carved its own lane. Maybe artists stopped chasing global mass appeal and start making music for their communities again. Maybe storytelling returns. Maybe risk returns. Risk. Taking the risk to do some dope shit. Maybe experimentation becomes mandate again. Maybe, just maybe, a smaller, more intentional audience creates better art than a billion passive listeners ever could. Who knows? But I do know one thing, though. Hip hop doesn't need to dominate to be powerful. Truth never needed to chart to matter. Now, that's another bar. We need to put that on a t-shirt. Truth never needed to chart to matter. To make a long story short, or I'm sorry, to make a long story longer, when I think about the blog era or mixtape Wayne or the Neptune sound or any and all of the contributors who have carried the torch of this great culture, I'm reminded that hip hop's greatest moments were never driven by commerce. They were driven by imagination, regional quirks, unique sounds, by community truth, by artists that wasn't afraid to innovate and motivate. What if the versions of hip hop we're losing right now isn't really hip hop at all? I like that. I like even thinking like that. What if we ain't even losing hip hop? For the longest, a lot of people said that what's going on ain't hip hop anyway. So maybe we're not losing hip hop at all. Maybe we're getting back to hip hop. What if the thing that is dying is the industry's replica? Not the original. This ain't the original cultural thing. This the bootleg version. It's the Walmart brand. Right? You know how them sodas, you got Pepsi and Coke, and then you got the one off brand that just say cola on it? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we just got cola right now. Maybe we're going back to the Pepsi or the Coke, the real stuff. Because if history has taught us anything, it's this. Black music doesn't die, it reincarnates, it transforms, it returns to the people who birthed it. Hip hop ain't dead, it's just shedding its skin, and what comes next might be the most alive it's ever been. This is Hezekiah's Substack. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna put this in the chat. If y'all want to go read it for yourselves, do the post. If y'all want to go read it yourselves, you can. I thought this article was dope. Thought it was dope. I thought it said a lot, man, and it just resonated with me because to me, you know what I'm saying, hip hop ain't just music, it's a way of life. It birthed me. It is it's I predicate a lot of things on how I live based off of hip hop, you know what I'm saying, and what I seen because hip hop leached itself into my, you know, the fabric of my upbringing, everything that was going around, television, movies, music, style of dress, the way, you know, the lingo, the way we talk. Um, and I like that. I like the ways. Look, don't get me wrong. I like that hip hop has branched out and it's gone as far as it has. But now it's like people are trying to cut the root away. You know what I'm saying? And that's not how you do things. When you prune a tree, you prune the top, you prune the leaves, you prune branches, stuff like that. You don't prune at the bottom. So I think a lot of things need to be pruned up top. Maybe it don't need to go as it don't that tree don't need to branch out as far as it need to, you know what I'm saying, as it does. That overhang that's hanging over, and every time a truck passes by, the truck top hits it. We got to cut that away. We got to get that up out of here, man. So yeah, this was a dope article, man. Like I said, if y'all have the chance, please go read it on your own. Take it in. I would love to know what y'all thought of this article. Um, you know, I want your hottest takes in the chat. I'm gonna go back and read the chat. I want to see what y'all talking about. Who killed hip hop? Was it a corporation? Was it the mumble rap? Was it mumble rap? Or is it actually fine? And old people like me, we just yelling at the clouds. Is that it? I want all your theories. I want y'all to tell me the current state of hip hop, because I know we got different ages in here, which I think is dope. So y'all tell me what y'all think the current hip hop is, current state of hip hop. Is it regressing? Is it going forward? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Let me see what y'all talking about. I seen y'all really been chatting it up. Let me see. Where'd I stop off at? Boom, boom. Coach Amazing, but some of the artists were overhyped. OG, I know you from Florida, but Trick Daddy was mid. I'm not from Florida. I just live in Florida. But I'm gonna say this. I don't think Trick Daddy was mid, and the reason why I say Trick Daddy was not mid, uh, because culturally he did for Florida what everybody else, and this goes back to regional. Trick Daddy did for Florida during that late '90s, early 2000s period what a lot of people were doing for their region. Who out of Florida was coming out rapping the way Trick that, you know what I'm saying? Like Trick comes from a dope tree, come from that Luke Campbell tree, right? I don't know if y'all Scar was the first time I remember hearing Trick Daddy, right? But I wouldn't say he's mid. I'm not finna sit here and say like he's, the great 50 greatest rappers of all time. That ain't him, but I think he served his purpose for what he want, what he did. He had some hits, you know what I'm saying? And now he's on to doing other stuff. But I wouldn't necessarily say he was mid. But you know, music is subjective. If you think he's mid, who am I to tell you that he's not? Shout out, salute to Curtis King, man. Did he? He had it. I'm gonna have to go check out what he did. Salute to Curtis King. I like Curtis King. So a lot of artists were mainstream because they could afford the agents and managers to help them get involved with labels. You say they weren't mainstream, or they were mainstream because of that? My top 5 MCs. Ooh. Top 5 MCs. No order, no order. Can I give you just my favorite? And the thing, top 5s to me, lists change all the time, because I think lists should not be static. I think they should change based on the mood, feeling, things of that nature. You might have some that are just, that don't necessarily budge. They might move up one, move down one, or whatever. But top five. Let me see. For me, I just hit. I try to do. I'm gonna do a region from New York. Top MC from New York for me, or from that East Coast area for me. Beanie Siegel out of that area. I like Beans, man. I think Beans is dope. I think he was short lived. Moved down south. Uh, uh, 3 Stacks, Andre 3000. Right down south. Go out west. Right now it'll be K Dot. It's a couple out west. I'm a big West Coast hip hop fan, man. I'm a big West Coast hip hop fan. My favorite rapper of all time is Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whether he's still my favorite rapper. Um, Out of the Midwest, I would say, can I count groups? Because if we're doing groups, then I want to do Outkast, not just Andre 3 Stacks, because I think Big Boy is just as good uh on the mic as 3 Stacks is. Favorite group out the Midwest, it would have to probably be Bone Thugs. I would say Bone Thugs really shaped really shaped me growing up. You know what I'm saying? Is that 5? I can go on. I got a lot, and like I said, it changes. You know, it changes. Ti is Ti might actually be my favorite rapper from the South. Now that I think about it, Ti, 8 Ball, and MJG. Like I got a lot. I can go on. I can go on and on and on. Um, you know, hip hop shouldn't have went to the heights from the means of it did. Rappers like Eminem took the game to newer heights, but we know the main reason. I think with Eminem, it's because I think Eminem has treated hip hop correctly. He is the great white hype, so he has that behind him, and use what you got. I say use as I don't mind a person using a privilege, right? I don't mind you using a privilege. Just don't use that privilege at the detriment of another person, right? So if you got a privilege, like if he's stronger, yes, use your strength. If you can run faster, yeah, you were privileged enough to be able to run fast. If you got pretty privilege, yes, use what. So I'm not mad at Eminem being the great white hype because to me he still treated hip hop correctly. You know what I'm saying? He can rap. He makes good music, or he made good music, depending on what I'm saying, how you feel now. But to me, I always felt like he treated hip hop correctly. So, say M get more love than Jay-Z, and I've only heard 2 M albums in full. Y'all don't want to hear my take about Jay-Z. Y'all will be mad about Jay-Z. Y'all will be mad about who I compare Jay-Z to also. I'm gonna just say it. To me, and I know y'all gonna say some stuff. Jay-Z is the LeBron James of rap. And y'all might say, oh, Blue, that ain't bad. That's bad. Jay-Z has never had an era. He's never been the dominant force in hip-hop. Never. He's never been that. Never. Just like LeBron James has never been the dominant force. He's won some stuff, but he's never been the dominant. There's always been an era that hasn't been his. Always. It's always been somebody else's era. Just like Jay-Z. It's always been somebody else's era. Always. Not saying that they not good. Not saying that they bad or they suck. Jay-Z could be the greatest rapper of all time. Never had an era. He just never had an era. LeBron James, great, phenomenal player. Some people got him as their as the GOAT. And if people say he the GOAT, I'm not mad at that. He's never had an era, though. Never had an era. Never had an era. Nope. It was always somebody standing on top. Always. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. What else y'all got? Stem to say this article is written from a place of love. I really like it. When you care, you want to be better. That's the energy of this piece. And that's how I feel too. When you care, you want things to be better. Like you just want stuff to be better. If you care about it, that's why you critique it. I'm critiquing you because I want you to be better. Marvel, I'm critiquing you because I want you to be better. I know you can do better. Feige, I know you can do better. I'm gonna critique you. Right? And I praise you. When you got some dopeness, I'm gonna praise you. Q said Lil Dicky. Old Thugger Jeffrey say he ain't hip. A lot of them saying ain't hip hop. I ain't hip hop. I'm a rock star. I do this. I'm more than my music. Man, shut up. I don't like stuff like that. I'm hip hop. I got it tatted on me. Know if y'all can see that. I got it tatted. I'm hip hop. I'm hip hop. Say, did you see the Stranger Things movie screening sold out? They could do listening parties. They should, but they don't want to do stuff like that. They don't want to be intimate with the people anymore. That's the bad thing. Intimacy is what builds the community up. You know, that's what builds it up. Be intimate. That's why that physical. You buy a CD. I used to rip the package and I'll throw the disc in while the disc is playing. I'm flipping through the booklet, seeing who wrote the song, who produced it. I'm reading the credits. I'm reading the shout outs and thank yous. That was that pamphlet, that booklet was like a gift also. It was like extra meat on, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what really helped people. Jaden Informer says streaming helped me delete the ops, aka it be your own people too. Timberland. Yeah, Timberland. Chill says, so the problem is the platforms. Yes, the problem is the platform. The problem is the platforms. That's 1000% correct. As a these platforms, yes, these platforms are the problem. Or part of the problem, I would say. Not the full entire problem, part of the problem. The Blue's rap name was Bumble Thug. Nah, it was my rap name is Blue. Blue Minotti is my rap name. One point in time I called myself Blue Gambino. In high school, I was Twist West at one point in time. I gotta been through some names. Problem is people sold out to be put on. But you do what you have to do to pay your bills. Yeah, and I totally get all that. I'm not against doing what you have to do to pay your, but still respect the art form, right? Because this art form is what's allowing you to pay your bills. That's all. The art form is allowing you to pay your bills. Now, Frank Ocean was the man for cheating his record label with the video album, then dropping the real album. He kept private. And I think by doing that, a lot of labels and stuff looked at that and be like, oh, we ain't gonna get caught up like that again. And he was one. I think Frank Ocean is the driving force with this streaming thing. The way these contracts is made, it's Frank Ocean. He part of that. Say they still playing Kendrick in Japan. Kendrick ain't going over. Kendrick is the man. Drake never living this down. He could. If Drake would have stopped trying to be the big tough guy and just tipped his hat off to Kendrick and called it a day, I think he would have been all right. Now him trying to sue and do all types of stuff and still act like he the tough guy, I think that's what really, have people looking at him weird. Excuse me. I don't think dying changing forms is not as genuine as with AI. People want to be able to tell what's artificial or won't be able to tell what's artificial. Problem is the people they put in place to speak for us only care about that. Yeah, that's it. Aki is poison, bro. Aki is poison. I used to like him on Everyday Struggle, but I never watched like his streams and stuff. So, and I didn't know a lot. I know he did the Chicago thing, and a lot of people got on him for that. But it's like he's a clout chaser. I don't like Aki is poison. He's bad for business. Yep. Most of the people at Spotify, Apple Music, and Pandora don't look like us. They don't. I am also Coach Made. I base my brand on it. But if the artists don't get the money, the company still will. True that. Solar guy AJ, what up? Just talking about being ahead, being an old head. Fuck that. Let's be real historians. Not true. True that. Now I'm being a real historian. I don't forgot more than a lot of people know when it comes to hip hop. I used to read the Source magazine. It just right. That's where I got a lot of, you get a lot of the info. That was the Bible. 4.5 mics, 5. Who got 5 mics? Remember Outkast? Big Boy said, I need my other half a mic. You remember he said that? Oh man. Stuff like that was being able to sit at the lunchroom table with that Source magazine and all the homies gather up and we talking music and hip hop. That was one of the best feelings in the world, man. The first time rap song wasn't on the top 40 Billboard. I think it was Detroit that approved the bill for Spotify artists to get paid more revenue. I think it was Detroit. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay, yeah. I think so. Look, the revenue sharing with streaming is horrible. That's another thing to me that's killing. You know, look what they did to James Brown, BB King, Frankie Lyman, are great artists who died broke but changed the world. True that. Why do fools fall in love, Frankie Lyman? I remember going to the movie theater to see that movie, man. Salute to Tate, Lorenz Tate. He killed that role, and everybody was in that movie, man. Everybody was in that movie. Chill, what you mean he had the wrong conclusion? Speak on that if you're still in here. Speak on that. Speak on that. Speak on that. Should I make it even more recent? Look at Tretch, Naughty by Nature, De La Soul, Broken has some of the biggest impact on American culture, period. Right. I don't want to count the pockets of these people, you know, back then. Because that's another thing too. Back then, nobody knew what hip hop was going, you know. You just didn't know where hip hop was going back then. Late 80s, early 90s. 90s is when it started getting more commercialized. You know what I'm saying? It became money started really coming in hip hop. Like it was money in hip hop, but it wasn't money in hip hop. Right. So Tretch, Naughty by Nature, De La Soul, all of them, they wasn't looking at hip hop being a 50-year-old. Because remember back then they was telling people it's just a fad. Oh, hip hop's gonna come and go. That rapidy rap, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Coach said he was a clone of Uncle Luke with more guns. Oh man, ooh, Beans was amazing. Hey, that beef between Beans and Jada though, to me that's one of the best beefs. That D Block Locks state prop beef. I remember when they went up to Hot 97, Jay-Z brought state property up there, and he just let the Young Guns and Beans and Freeway spit. And I think I got it on a Clue tape somewhere. I got to go pull out my Clue tape. Man, and then Jada dropped Beanie Mac. Those are some good songs. That was some good back and forth beefing, man. That was some good back and forth beefing. Good back and forth beefing. Bone Thugs, legendary. T.I. is top 10. I think he's top 10. Eminem new stuff. He got his hype ain't what it was, and I think we look at as we age. You know, I just think that's just how it is. You can't keep making. Not saying you can't keep making the same song, but as the artists grow, you know what I'm saying, the way he makes music might change, and it just ain't the same. This ain't the same. Oh yeah, he loves hip hop, but the labels allowed him to become something a lot more than just a white guy in the clique. Like I said, ain't nothing. But I don't see an issue with. Like I said, I'm gonna use if I got a privilege and they're gonna let me use my. Long as I'm not downing anybody. Long as I'm not taking food out of your mouth or hating on you, yeah. If I'm Eminem and my whiteness is gonna propel me to the biggest artist in the game, I can't help. I can't be. We live in America. I can't be mad at that. We live in America. Can't be mad at that necessarily. Said who? Let's discuss what LeBron is. We back talking about. Look, he didn't have an era. What was the LeBron James era? What was the Jay-Z era? Said from Hard Knock Life 2 to all the way to Black Album. No, it was not. No, it was not. There was this guy who was going around barking like a dog. I don't know if you remember him. Rest in peace, Earl. Who was selling more records and was a better artist than him. And even Jay knew it. No, I don't want to hear that. Hard Knock Life 2, the Black Album was his. That was not his era. That might have been his era personally for him. But no, that was not his era. DMX was on the prowl. Even Jay-Z told Rockefeller, hey, is this guy coming up? His name is 50 Cent. So after DMX, 50 Cent came in. Eminem. He never had an era as the guy. He was dope, but he never had an era as the guy. It was always somebody bigger and better than Jay-Z. Yeah, he'll sneak in here and there, win it. You know, he can win the championship just like LeBron James. I can sneak in and win the championship. Take my talents down to Miami, win the championship. But even then, Kobe was the biggest thing on the block. Tim Duncan was the biggest thing on the block. Then after that, you had this guy who creeped up who can shoot. He ain't even in the gym who could shoot. It became his era, the Steph Curry era. LeBron James does not have an era. That's not a bad thing. But he don't have an era. When we go back in history, if we go back, if we live another 20 years and we start going back in history, there won't be a LeBron James era. They're going to be talking about how dominant Tim Duncan was, how dominant Kobe Bryant was. From 2000 to 2010, Kobe Bean Bryant was the man, or Tim Duncan was the man within that time period. From 2010 up into maybe the Jokic era, right, was Steph Curry. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Volume 2, The Dynasty Blueprint. No, Rockefeller was dope. Rockefeller was dope, but guess who was bigger than Rockefeller during that time period? No Limit. Hate to say it. No Limit had a bigger impact on hip hop during that time period. Dynasty, the 2s and 3s, the Dynasty period. Cash Money came into the game. Like, no, what you're doing, you're just naming dope Jay-Z albums, dope Rockefeller. Like, they was dope. Now, I'm not taking away their dopeness or even their greatness. They just didn't have an era. It was always somebody bigger on the block than them. Always. Jay-Z knew it. That's why he had to go and take the president of Def Jam role. And he was so scared of DMX that he wouldn't even let DMX album come out. And that's okay. It's okay. It's cool. People don't control what gets hot. Mark Zuckerberg does. I know. I think people still control what's hot. Mark Zuckerberg and those power that be control how to commodify it, how to turn it into a commodity. We still control what's hot. Things that happen in the street, the way we talk amongst ourselves. If a collective of people got together, you look. If the Snyderverse was smart, well, now that might have come and gone. But something like that, like movement, still matter. But it's got to be. I wanted to say Snyderverse. I'm gonna use them anyway. If that collective group of people, if Snyder dropped the movie right now, and those people ran to the movies, they can make Snyder hot again. But see, they refuse to do that. And that's why Snyder ain't hot. That's why Snyder ain't hot, because they don't go support Snyder outside of the others. You know what I'm saying? Outside of DC. You want him to come back, go support other stuff. Rappers get in hip hop and believe they're bigger than the program. That is true. And you never bigger than the program. J-Line, I don't forget more than you will ever learn. What you know, you can make your home a permanent earn class. Look, you act like, yes, Jay has some clay. It's a Jay-Z bar for everything. I get it. LeBron James is the leading scorer in the NBA of all time. I get it. Most points scored. I get it. Still, it ain't a LeBron era. It's still not the LeBron era. Never has been, never will be. I'm not taking nothing away from him individually. World Star Hip Hop is another issue. Need to change their name to World Star Ghetto Activities. World Star still exists. I didn't even know World Star still existed. I think they served their purpose in time. Just like Dat Piff and all of that. I wish Dat Piff would come back. I think Dat Piff, Dat Piff should come back. But the thing, that I'm gonna just leave it there. Dat Piff should come back. World Star Hip Hop. World Star was, I feel you, but I'm not gonna say they're an issue. That's World Star. Chill says it's not shedding its skin. The systems he's complaining about are still in place. No, but that's what he's saying. He's saying F the systems. Get rid of the system. Right? That article is all about hip hop saying we don't need the systems. Never have we needed the systems. We don't need the systems. We got the streets is our system. The word of mouth is our system. The region is our system. Still, you from Toronto. Toronto hip hop is your system. Me, I'm from the South. The South is my system. When I'm out west politicking with the homies out there, that's my system. Right? New York, if you're from New York, that's your system. The industry, I don't need the industry to be hot. Hip hop never needed the industry. The industry needed hip hop. I have to say that about them being broke because I seen interviews of them complaining French won't do a tour because they won't give him his money. And De La, De La just got their rights back. They should have been got. Tommy Boy was a horrible record label, and they both were signed to Tommy Boy back then. So I feel what you're saying. But tour money and how they split up and stuff, like I think those are just individual gripes. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at that as what Tretch is doing. I don't look at that as a hip hop problem. That's just like the same thing with Salt and Pepper and Spinderella. Like how they want those are personal issues between those people. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever price Tretch wants to charge to do a show, that's on him. That has nothing to do. Especially now, I don't think Tretch and Naughty by Nature signed to anybody. I think they ended fully independent. They can go and do what they want to do. Him, Vin Rock, and what's the DJ? Damn, I can't think of the DJ right now. But they can all go and do what they want to do, right? You know what I'm saying? Without industry politics. When I heard Take Me Do That, I knew. Yes, done deal. That hot 9. So you know what I'm talking about, culture. You know what I'm talking about. And if artists care about revenue sharing, they should all be in on fan base. No. And I'm actually with a investor in fan base. But no, you should. Jay-Z did the same thing with Tidal. Oh, if you care about it, come be an investor in Tidal. No, get rid of. I mean, yes, but no. At the same, you wanna really chill. If there was a way to package up our YouTube and give it to people, I would, and I would actually tell you to do that. You know what I'm saying? Do that also, like, because then it's an actual product that you can actually put a real price on. I can't put a price on a stream, right? You can't necessarily put a price on the stream. Analytics and all of that. I got a disc. Do you want to buy this cube right here? This Black Panther mini Funko Pop. Do you want to buy this for $5 or not? You see what I'm saying? I can go get 100 of these and sell. Now I know how much money, how much revenue is coming in. And if it is a revenue sharing thing, the numbers are simple. It's there. I know that I sold 100 Funko Pops for $5. That should be $500. I get 75% of that or 85% of that. I know what's coming in. That's just like when Snoop got on I forgot what that he was on some talk show, and he was saying how streaming is bullshit. I do 80 million and I get 8, you know what I'm saying? $8 grand back. I just did 80 million. What does the math add up? I only get 8 grand. 80 million people just listen to my song. Imagine 80 million people buying your single for 99 cents. Imagine half of that buying your single for 99 cents. You make more money on the radio. A BDS spin on the radio is worth more than a stream or a listen to on a stream. A BDS spin on the radio, which is a dying platform that they say, which I'm gonna call BS on that too. I don't think it's a dying platform. I just think they're trying to make us go from and look over here. But a BDS spin, a BDS on the radio is worth more than a stream. So I feel what you're saying, that if artists cared about revenue sharing, they should be all in on fan base. They did that with Tidal, and look what it got them. Nowhere. Streaming is not, it's not for creators. It's not. Every creator that has a YouTube or something, you know what they do? They sell other things. They sell merch, or they say, go to my Patreon. Go subscribe to my page, because that's it's not physical, but that's an actual thing that I can tally down. I got one subscriber for $5. And it's my subscriber. It's not YouTube subscriber. It's my subscriber. So I know what I'm getting. See, I don't know how many subscribers you got. But take your subscriber base, right? And think of the views that you be getting. How much money is YouTube giving you back? How much money would fan base give you back? How much money would Spotify give you back? 0.025 is a stream or something, 2 cents. I think it's less than that. 0.00. I think it's 3 zeros after the decimal point. That ain't no money. Hey, buy my shirt, buy my merch. Hey, don't forget. Hey, I'm sponsored. That's why you see them getting sponsored by shit that they don't even believe in. Illuminati, what you know about what you know about them Clue tapes, man? All I'm saying is Will Smith dropped the hip hop album back then and need to be put on Mount Rushmore of rappers top 5. Will can rap, but I think the way people look at Will, they look at him more as the movie star. And I know he just dropped the album, but no, Will can rap. Will can rap. I don't know. You know, he's not that gritty, but Will can rap. I don't think he's a Mount Rushmore rapper, but no, Will can rap. And he should get the respect that's warranted for him. I think he should be more revered than what he is, but yeah, nah. DMX, Mr. Earl Simmons was a guy, but he did not do what Jay did. There would be no swagger talk if not for Jay. I invented swag, popping bottles, putting suit. No, Jay got all. I hate to say it, and I might sound a little biased. People was doing that already. And all I'm saying is, yeah, Jay did that, but people was doing that. Just was what was going on at the time. Jay couldn't even compete with. What was the album with Sunshine on it? Be My Sunshine. Jay did that because he was competing with Puffy. He couldn't even beat Puffy. He couldn't even beat Bad Boy. Remember, Bad Boy was killing the game. What was that, Volume 1? He couldn't even beat Puffy them. What are we talking about? Jay's first album was a dud. Jay didn't become anybody until Hard Knock Life, as far as on a massive scale. If you was a hip hop fan, you knew about Jay-Z, you liked his stuff, but on a big scale, no. I remember Streets was watching. I think I even got that. I might even have that DVD. I remember, not the DVD, it was a cassette. I think I might have the VHS at my mama's house. But no, man, come on, man. No. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't. Jay did not have an era, and that's okay. That's not taking nothing from Jay. It's not. He's the greatest hip hop role player of all time. He is. And being on Kanye West is not for the blueprint. True. That is true. But guess who's the bigger artist? Kanye. The No Limit bigger than the Dynasty? It's not. No Limit was bigger at that point in time. I'm just talking about the time period. Whether you like the Dynasty album or you liked whatever No Limit was doing at the time, all I'm saying is No Limit had a bigger chokehold on the game than the Dynasty album. And the Dynasty was a dope album. I think that's one of Jay-Z's most underrated albums, is the Dynasty album. You know? But yes. And I done hit 2 hours, man. I ain't want to be on for 2 hours. I told you I get into hip hop. We could talk some hip hop, boy. So without LeBron, there'd be no big three from his first playoff run, Cleveland, blah, blah. What does that even mean? There'll be no big three. Who cares? Who cares? No big three. He does not have an era. He can, you know what? Yes, he has owned the NBA. You're absolutely right. He has owned the NBA. That's just like Jay-Z. Jay-Z has owned hip hop. I'm not taking that away from him. Still ain't got no era. Still. I'm just trying. I'm gonna see. Has he ever had an era? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the LeBron James era. I don't know. Yeah, I got it. You can have it. You can have it. Like I said, it's a controversial take. You got it. You got it. You got it. Yeah, radio never die. Just different sandboxes. Subscription was the death of the transaction. There's no more give to get, paying for access rather than a service or product. There you go. You said it better than me, Stamina. That's what I'm getting at. There you go. Paying for a service rather than a product. That's it. YouTube, Spotify, Netflix, you old stuff, but online. That is true. They just repackaging it and selling it to you. But they don't want you to own. They want you to rent everything, and I think that's another reason why why I fight so much against it, because it's more than that. Issue matters more than what most than what people really think. They want you to own stuff. They want you to rent. They don't want you to own stuff. They want you to rent. Like you said, they want you to pay for services. When you're a renter, you have no control. No control. Chill said we have no control. He's asked, we have no control right now. No control. No control. That Netflix did. I might talk about that tomorrow, man. I gotta watch that. I wanted to talk about it today, but I didn't get the opportunity to get into none of the episodes. But yeah, I'm hearing they. Oh man. Oh Diddy boy. Take that. Take that. Streets is watching. Backstage. Yep. 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 Change the culture of Big Three changed the culture of basketball. I mean, if you say so. There was to me there were always no. I agree. Yes, but that don't mean it had an era. That don't mean it's an era, so to speak. LeBron went to the finals all those times and only walked away with 4. Went to the champ. He done been to the championship 100 times, walked away with 4. That's what I mean. You don't have an era. That's what I mean. You're not even 50. You're not even 50% in going. You know what I'm saying? In your win column over there, you don't have an era because there was always somebody better than you. But um, I'm gonna wrap it up, man. It's like I said, I'm going on 2 hours. I'm hungry. This was a good episode, man. This was a good. It's a good episode. There are some. I'm probably gonna have some changes happening. Um, on the weekends, I'm thinking about making my channel stream for 20 just for the weekend, a 24/7 loop of or stream of uh probably the best episodes throughout the week, and it'll change every week. It'll be something new for the stream on Saturday and Sundays. I probably do that. So if you see the channel live, you can always pop in to see if you missed something. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Um, like I said, I'm gonna be adding probably more, maybe a little bit more sports, more hip hop, some politics might trickle in. So don't be alarmed if uh if some stuff like that happens. It'll only be if I do politics, is only be pertinent to probably entertainment as a whole, or maybe if it's something that's just real, uh, real crazy or anything like that. And probably a little bit more reactions instead of just me reading um from these articles. I'm gonna try to see if I can find some of these interviews that these articles are pulling from so we can, I'm saying, do it like that. And hopefully I've been reaching out for some of these interviews. Some people say yes and then I don't hear from them. So I'm gonna still keep trying to press for some of these interviews. Um Speaking of hip hop, I want to reach out to Daz Dillinger and see if I can get in. It seems like he's talking to people. So I'm gonna try to reach out to Daz and maybe see if I can get an interview with him and talk some hip hop. Um talk some of his issues with Death Row and Snoop Dogg and things of that nature. That's one that I really want to do because I'm a bit, like I said, I'm a big Snoop Dogg fan, big Dog Pound fan, big Death Row fan, uh, West Coast hip hop, big fan, just all of that. So, but yeah, so be on the lookout for those changes. Merchandise is you can go and get merch if you want. I'll be running a commercial for that soon. But the product you can order that. And yeah, man, y'all stick with me. Y'all stick with me. Like I said, big. I want to go into the new year with some new, fresh ideas and just try to grow. So y'all could, so y'all can be in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Going at it in the chat with more people. I need this channel to grow. So on that side of things, but y'all know what to do, man. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Y'all take it easy, be safe. And like that there, we are Audi 5,000. Yada.
This concludes today's broadcast from Blues News. We hope you enjoyed tonight's programming and the time we've shared together.
Right. Always be about being authentic. Drop like that. Drop to what it was March, so that we added to the slate on the strength of an exception.
So I think it's confidence. I think that
Blues News is dedicated to bringing you the very best in pop culture, music, and conversation, serving viewers everywhere, every day. On behalf of our staff and crew, we thank you for watching. We'll return tomorrow with more entertainment, insight, and fun for the whole house gang. Good night and good luck.